So since then, obviously, you mentioned you've done the series abroad, and you've been doing series closer to home as well. And the one that I watched was Go Fish. I kind of watched that with tender hooks, if you excuse the pun. And there's one scene in it where you're trying to find angel sharks. I think quite a rare shark. And
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, you don't catch one on rod and line, but is it someone gets one in a net or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, mate, thanks for bringing that up. This is the first time I've ever spoken about this, actually. And I'm so passionate about it. I didn't know that much about angel sharks, but I was really lucky to work with, I'm going to get this wrong, so I will look up for it and send you the details, but I think they're called the Angel Shark Foundation. They're Wales-based. They're an amazing, amazing group. And they study angel sharks, which is this incredible shark species that sort of, mate, for want of a better way of putting it, to totally simplify it, it looks almost like it's got the head of a ray and the tail of a shark.
Because they're quite rare, aren't they? They're not. I mean, I think
critically endangered.
Yeah.
They were a really common species in the Mediterranean, but
that's where I've seen them.
Yeah, I mean, but really difficult to find now. Thanks to trawling. Basically, you go along the bottom as you trawl through these areas, and obviously you're going to pick up everything that lives on the bottom, which includes the angel shark species, and they're going to die, and they're going to die out, and this is what happens. I mean, you know yourself, because you're a scuba diver, and I know because I scuba dive a lot. I'll never forget, actually, we're making a series, Hidden Whales. 2 years ago, I dived on a Victorian submarine called the Resurgam that is off the north coast of North Wales. I'm not being funny, Jack. It was a fast current to get to the wreck, and as I was coming in to try and find the wreck, I went down to the bottom and then went on the bearing where the wreck was, following the dive leaders. It was like diving across a ploughed field.
Yeah,
that is the only way I can describe it. And this is one of the great challenges that we have as kind of lovers of fish and communicators about our work, is that when people look at the surface of the sea or the surface of a river or the surface of a lake, you can't imagine what it looks like on the bottom, and you can go down there and see things that are even greater than the fish tank that's behind me now, with all of these plants and natural paradises. Or you can go to a place that's been smashed up by us and broken apart by trawlers, and you're not going to realise that there's a paradise scene underneath the river waiting for you, or that actually there is a scene of some of the most environmental destruction you can possibly imagine that, again, is hidden from view. Which means that, we lose out on the richness of being able to promote these amazing places and amazing landscapes. But getting back to what you originally said, so I had this series on BBC Wales called Go Fish, and one of the episodes focused on British shark species, and in it I was catching blue sharks. But there's an angel shark sequence, and these guys from this project, this charity, are involved in it. And a lot of their footage had come from Mediterranean angel sharks, which they're able to see on site in those clearer waters. But they were particularly interested in Welsh angel sharks, and they believed that there was a separate species living in Wales of angel shark, and they wanted to prove it, but it was proving very difficult because the water's so murky. It's very difficult to get a visual ID. In fact, they'd never had a visual ID. So they were telling me this, and suddenly I was thinking, actually, I have. And the reason I had was because years and years ago, when I was a researcher working in Wales, a television researcher, I'd worked on a series called 4 Seasons. And in it, I'd set up a shoot with a spider crab fisherman out of Aberystwyth, and we caught an angel shark in the net whilst we were spider crab fishing. And the guy, Dean, an amazing fisherman, gets this angel shark out of the net. He's holding it, this species that now is illegal to catch because the numbers are so critically endangered. And he talks about it, and he says, same as what you said, they used to be everywhere. And at one point in the film, I can't remember who said it. There's kind of like a bit of chat about the looks of the fish. It's kind of an ugly looking thing superficially. And he actually dares the presenter to give it a kiss, which she does. And the angel shark scientists, absolutely, they take in this huge deep breath, and they're like, I cannot believe you let her do it. And later on, I saw footage of an angel shark striking its prey, and it is literally like a cobra strike, this almost like telescopic protrusion comes out of its mouth with the mouth parts on the end, and it inhales this fish. Now, like, if they'd done that to her while she's kissing it for television, it would have ripped her lower jaw clean off her face.
Jeez.
So yeah, amazing. It was amazing to work with those guys and to talk about that fish species.